came to Philadelphia to retrace the steps of David Goodis, famous mystery writer. I wrote a screenplay from one of his books called Cassidy's Girl. He's one of the great noir writers, and his sordid, twisted past that led him from Hollywood back to his hometown in Philadelphia. Lived in this house in the suburbs with his parents and this mentally disabled brother. Here in this house where he wrote most of the famous novels, including Cassidy's Girl. Spent his nights and his days here writing, churning out paperback after paperback, crime fiction, gold medal label. Some of his books received high popularity, millions of copies sold. He died in this hospital under mysterious circumstances. Some people say it was a bar fight. Some people say he was shoveling snow out of his mom's house. Anyway, it was these streets that took his life. Streets of Port Richmond, and earlier in his life in an area called Logan. It's sort of fitting that there's not much left of Logan, just empty fields where houses used to lie. His house is one of these. It's now just an empty, barren field out by Washington Avenue. Warnock Street's nothing more than just overgrown weeds and open fields. But it's in these row houses that he wrote all of his earlier novels. Girl on the Street Corner, Moon in the Gutter. That's where he set his novels. Of Tender Sin, Behold This Woman. These are the streets that he wrote about. This was the neighborhood he grew up in before he left for Hollywood. His big breakaway was a movie done by Bogart and Bacall called Dark Passage that led into Hollywood, and not a successful stint there. After a few years of frustration and not getting anything else produced, he got shipped back to Philly. Spent the rest of his life in these streets. And his return to Philadelphia was not a graceful, successful, triumphant return, but a fall from grace. He was living in this time of urban decay, at a time when the city was desperate to renew and revitalize the city, tear out the old. But he was a remnant of that old past, living in these squalid houses. And he was telling stories of the people that lived in these areas, people that were desperate, somehow had found their place in the American dream. Some of these locations have been here since the time that Goodis was writing about them in the 1950s. When you sit down and talk to the people that come to the bar, they still sound the way they did back in the 50s. It's a sound. Philadelphia's been lost through the ages.
How long has this bar been open? You guys know?
And these silver ones chewed up all the other ones. Nobody can figure out why all the fish was disappeared. So we got silverfish in there. They chew the tails of the little fish. Those look like a freaking piranha. That's the ladies' entrance right out over there. Yeah. If you go outside, you'll see it'll say ladies above it.
Retracing the steps, David Goodis.
He hated the street on these busy Saturday nights, especially during April, when the rain came down hard and the traffic cops were annoyed with the rain and took it out on the cabbies and the bus drivers. Cassidy sympathized with the traffic cops, and when they glared and yelled, he only shrugged and gestured helplessly. If they had a tough corner to patrol, well, he had a tougher mustache to steer. Aside from the pay, it was emotionally important for Cassidy to do this type of work. Keeping his eye on the road and his mind on the wheel was a protective fence holding him back from internal as well as external catastrophe. The bus made a turn off Market Street, went up through the slashing rain down Arch, went into Depot. Cassidy climbed out, opened the door, stood there, helped him down from the bus. Cassidy looked at their faces and he had an idea. He could tell what the root of the problem was. It was the fact they were ordinary people and they didn't know what Pro Trouble was. He could tell them. He could damn well tell them.
It's my brains and only my brains telling you to keep away from us. Now it starts with the preacher. Me preach? Not me, Jim. Anyone but me. Lost my sense of moral values a long time ago. Credo I hold today is based on simple arithmetic, nothing wrong. We can all survive and get along and fall just an act one by one.
Please, thing. I say what I think. I ain't no hypocrite. Look, that man over there on the cot, just look at him. I tell you, my heart bleeds for that man. I can see them sending him up for 20, 30 years.
Doris, you don't leave her alone. She won't survive. Come on, Sheila, come on downstairs. Come on out of the clouds. Jim?
Before last night, I was with that girl. I sat there with her table, watched her take one drink.
There ain't a thing we can do, and you know it. You had a chance up, Sheila. You had a chance. You had a wonderful chance to really do something for him. And for Doris, yeah, for him and Doris, for the two of them.
Doris, there's only one need, and that's whiskey.
Instead of helping them, what did you do? Instead of telling Doris where he was,
You want to run yourself an office purpose.
who did you tell? You told the Boca tramp. Even hired me, because that's the way my animal talks.
My name is Dr. Sheila. Can I book some visit? I'll teach you how to louse up your life.
Why the colossal wrong to say that she married him. But they were married.
So all I can do is show you what's right in front of your face.
Your man and wife. On what basis?
Look at this. There it is. There's your life. My life. Nobody dragged us down here. We dragged ourselves. One minute. Knowing it was just what we wanted, we'd be comfortable. Like pigs who go for the mud because there's no boss. Get starved.
Because someone got paid to stand in front of them and read some lines? Because Cassie went out and bought a ring? You're telling me that man made it simpler. That put aggressive in it? I don't see it that way. I see it the other way. I claim that Cassidy was cursed. Yes, God damn it! I say she would have cursed on you.
They'll clip enough of it. Now, the trains are there. Been here 18 years. For thousands of dreams, and all been to see you. Getting out or climbing up or taking her by the hand and we'll find the road together. A shining road that aims upward.
It's a use, Cassidy said. I won't get anywhere talking to you.
January cold came in from two rivers, formed four walls around Hart, and closed in on him. He told himself an overcoat was imperative. He looked up and down Cale Street, saw an old guy coming towards him, and the old guy featured a big overcoat and big, heavy work shoes. The overcoat came nearer, and Hart worked his way into an alley and waited. He was shivering. He could feel the cold eating into his chest and tearing away at his spine. He came out of the alley as the old guy walked past, and he was behind him. The street was empty. He moved up on the old guy, and then he noticed how the old guy was bent. The overcoat was cold and torn. The old guy would have a hard time getting another overcoat. Hart turned and walked down Cale Street. He pulled up the collar on his chocolate brown flannel suit and told himself, what could that do? He turned around again and he walked toward Broad Street. And he was hating for
Philadelphia. The cold was even worse on Broad Street. From the east, it brought in an icy flavor from the Delaware. From the west, it carried a mean gray frost from the Scully Hill. Hart had been brought up in a warm climate, and besides, he was a skinny man who couldn't stand the cold weather. He looked south on Broad Street, and the big clock on City Hall said it was 6:20. It was already getting dark. Lights were showing store windows here and there. Hart pulled his hands in his trouser pockets and continued north on Broad Street. Then took his hand out of his pocket and he looked at 3 quarters, a dime, a nickel, and 3 pennies. That's all he has, and he needed an overcoat. He needed a meal, a place to stay, or he could use a cigarette. He thought maybe it would be a good idea to walk across Broad, keep on walking till he got to the Delaware River, and then take a fast dive and put an end to the little thing. He grinned. Just thinking about it made him feel better. It made him realize that as long as he was alive, he'd get along somehow. He could always hope for a break. The cold hit him again from 4 sides, got inside him and began to freeze there. He walked on, fighting the cold. He passed the store window with a mirrored border and stood looking at himself. The flannel suit was still in fairly good condition. That helped some. The collar of the white shirt was gray and the edges, and that wasn't so good. He had a mania for clean white shirts. That was something else he needed. A few white shirts and underwear and socks. It was a pity he had to get off that train in such a hurry. In a few months or so, railroad would be auctioning off his suitcase and all his things. He stood there looking in the mirror, cold beat into his back. He needed a haircut. His pale blonde hair was wisping around his ears. He needed a shave. His eyes were pale gray, and there were dark shadows under the eyes. He was getting older. In another month, he'd be 34.
Inside this facility's bookstore, housing thousands of noir and mystery novels.
We're talking about the end days of bookstores, pretty much in Philadelphia.
Yeah, not just Philadelphia. Not just Philadelphia.
Paul's work back then, Robin's bookstore would be 74 years, 75.
75.
And he's worked there for 50 years.
Wow, almost.
NoirCon was held at Society Hill Playhouse from November 8th to November 11th, 2012. Every other year they hold these festivals in honor of modern noir writers.
The poetry of literary noir is often the poetry of filmic noir. I want to talk today about the connection between film and fiction, but not in the usual ways, not about adaptation and the transformation of a tale from one art form to another. The connection runs far deeper. Rather, let's go back to the man who was profoundly influential in the evolution of modern film, D.W. Griffith. He was the creator of those early, massive, silent screen epics.
When writers write about freaks so much, and she says it's because we can still recognize one.
My name is Ira Harris Yanoff. I'm a mystery writer, also a fine artist, and from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But I always knew that I was related to a famous mystery writer, but I waited to learn a bit. And later on in life, very recently, I got into David Goodis. And I learned that I actually had the same stake. Yeah, runs in the family, like the same. He's haunted, as struck haunted, and he has a history in this city of really not being liked.
He's like actually haunted. He changes people. If you read him, you become him. He may have been like channeling point A and point B and point C for I want to accomplish this and this, and I think he was very inspired by Zoroastrianism.
Yeah. My name is Dwayne Swarzinski. I write crime novels and comic books. So seeing that someone here, was here on the scene covering the crime beat, so to speak, decades before I was born, it was pretty fascinating to me. But then once I, started reading all his books, he just bleak to the point of no return, and I think also very funny in a weird way. He has a great sense of black comedy, and he goes to the Tenderloin, kind of the old sort of the Skid Row of the 50s, and just his observations about how people live and drink themselves to death, and kind of mocking some of the straights, the business types downtown. It's just a great travel log, and I think there's a lot of him, commenting and I think falling in love with the city again after being away many years in LA.
But yeah, everything's still the same. Pretty much tell by that picture. Nothing's changing here, huh? Yeah, she's still the original owner. She still is.
It's funny, this book that was set here, it's called Shoot the Piano Player, and the bar in it's called Harriet's Hut.
Right.
And it's a bar, it's described like this one. I mean, it kind of almost sounds like it. And yeah, I think it had inspiration from one of the real bars here. It may have been this one, for all we know. I mean, he never specifies streets, but, what could it be? It's pretty amazing.
The oldest bars I know of in this neighborhood.
Yeah. What are the originals? It's probably the 50s at least, or the 40s even, maybe?
Sucker boy in front of me, there is plug too.
Really? Wow.
I mean, Alex, all.